Alright, I have no idea how this is going to turn out, but may as well start somewhere, right? It's going to be a short video explaining how status works on shotguns in Warframe. I often see people talking about shotguns and how theirs underperforms compared to somebody else who's running the exact same thing, and oftentimes it's down to how the status is calculated. So if you've ever asked yourself this and don't know why it's underperforming, and it's probably because your status is not 100%. And then you say, but if I look at my gun, it says 100% on it, right? Well, here's the thing. The modding screen is inaccurate. So actually Arcoplasma is not maybe the best. I suppose I can do an Arcoplasma. So if you have Frigid Blast, Shell Shock, I'm just throwing stuff in here, right? Scattering Inferno, Toxic Barrage, let's say 95.25, right? Then if you throw in Hell's Chamber, it'll go to 99.9. And then if you add in, what's the mod called? It's a Depolarity, I think. Shotgun Savvy, if you add that in, then it'll say 100%, right? But the multi-shot does not count towards the status. So if you take this out, actually that's if you take both of these out, then it's not the full 100%, right? So you have to have all these 5 mods in here for it to actually be 100. This is of course very annoying, because oftentimes people won't get how this works. Basically, if the status chance is under 100%, each pellet you fire will have whatever, like, the status that you have divided by the amount of pellets. But if you're at 100% status, all of the pellets will have 100% status chance. There are some very interesting like variations on this, which can occur with Riven mods. So if you take, where's my Tigress? Tigress Prime, right? Tigress Prime with all the dual stats. If you take out Hell's Chamber, see it's still 100%. And then if you put in Hell's Chamber, of course, it just adds more multi-shot, but all of those pellets will be affected by it. What you can do, however, if you have a Riven, you can achieve the 100% status and take out one of the dual stats. See how this has gone down to 98.2? So any Tigress Riven with 53.4% status or higher will achieve 100% before the multi-shot is calculated. There are, of course, a lot of shotguns, and there are a couple where you might think 100% status is not possible, like the Heck. It only has a Riven disposition of 1. This is an unfinished build, please excuse. There are ways to make this 100%. So there's a mod called Nano Applicator, which I don't have right now. But on ability cast, plus 90% status chance while aiming for 9 seconds. And if you have that with all of the dual stats, what is this build? Remove, go away. If you have all of the dual stats, so not Vicious Spread, Frigid Blast, Shell Shock, Toxic Barrage, Scattering Inferno. So then you've got all of the dual stats, and then on top of that, you have to put in Shotgun Savvy, right? And then you're at 92.52%. And then Nano Applicator will push you over to the 100%. but then you're sacrificing 6 mod slots to get 100% status. Vacor Heck and Heck, I think both have a Riven disposition of 1, so you can't really do it with Rivens either. Hence, it's more viable, more reasonable to go for a crit build on it. The Strun is also a really good example. If I quickly take out Hell's Chamber from this, I still have 100% status. Even though I only have 2 dual stats, my Riven is giving me 102% status chance. And that is more than enough to push you over the 100% because of the base is 40%. The most interesting case, though, is actually for a shotgun that I don't own right now, the Comb. The Comb is a very interesting case because at base it has 25% status chance, and it is truly terrible because, as you saw with the Heck, you can't get it to the 100% status without wasting 5 mod slots on it. However, how much is this blueprint, by the way? Oh, I might buy that so I can fiddle with it once I get a Riven for it. If you get a Riven for the Comb, no, that's not that. For the Comb, that gives 120% status chance. You only need 3 dual stat mods to push it to 100% status. So then you're taking up 4 mod slots. The Riven will have some other stat on it as well, right? And that still leaves you 4 mod slots for damage, crit chance, whatever mods you might like to use. And this makes it go from one of the worst weapons to, I wouldn't say one of the worst, one of the far less efficient and subpar weapons in the game to theoretically the highest sustained DPS weapon in the game. There is another case, which is the Dragoon, and for that you require all 4 dual stats, Shotgun Savvy and Nano Applicator, and that'll push you over to the 100%. But again, then you're wasting 5 mod slots just on status. Anyway, I just wanted to explain that a little bit, because the amount of times I've heard people complain about it, get it wrong. I just showed my bore, and my bore is not finished or done. I'm currently working on several shotguns. The Astila is one of them, and the other one's the Sobek. That's why it's halfway through being ranked up. And these are just ones that I want to test out and see exactly what I can get out of them with hunter munitions and crit mods as well as status mods. But yeah, that's about it, I think.